Hello dear friends, I am Jyoti Karathi from Liaquat University of Medical Health Science Jamshoro. Today I will discuss some information related with corneal ulcer. As we all know that the human eye, or the more correctly say eyeball, is situated within the orbital cavity, houses the structure that are responsible for the vision, assisted by the muscles that help in the movement of eyeball. Anatomically, the bulbous ocula is divided into three most layers. The outer layer is known as fibrin, middle layer that is constituted of the choroid ciliary processes and the iris, and innermost layer retina where the image formation takes place, and from where the optic nerve arises and goes up to the occipital region of the brain. The sclera, basically fibrous layer, outer fibrous layer, is consisting of the two parts, the sclera and the cornea. Transparent structure forming anterior 1/6 outer portion, that is called cornea, while the posterior 5/6 whitish portion is known as sclera. Having a look on the cornea, basically the word cornea, microscopic structure of the cornea. Microscopically, the cornea is consisting of few basic structure. Guys, if you just get to understand this microscopic structure of cornea, you will be able to understand each and every disease of cornea. Whether it is inflammatory disease, degenerative disease, ectasis, pigmentation, each and every disease you will be able to understand if you guys just get to know what is the basic microscopic structure of the cornea. Microscopically, the cornea is consisting of the epithelial layer, Bowman's membrane, I say the basement membrane of epithelium. Epithelium is consisting of two types of cells. Surface cells are consisting of the stratified non-keratinized squamous type of the cell, while the basal cell is consisting of the columnar type of cell. While the basement membrane of the epithelium is acellular and made up of condensed collagen fibrils. Endothelium, single layer of hexagonal cells lying on the basement membrane, while the stroma, where the keratocytes are present that produce collagen lamella that are so regularly arranged. Function of the cornea. The epithelium of cornea, the epithelial cells of cornea are so tightly packed with each other that even the drop of water can not be enter into the corneal epithelium. It also protects the rest of the eye from the germs and dust or the potentially infecting microorganism, while the endothelium serves as a nutrient provider. It provides nutrition from the aqueous humor to the more superficial layer of the cornea and moves water away from stomach back to the aqueous humor. That's how it maintains the state of dehydration. In addition, the cornea acts like a window. It focuses the entry of light rays towards the retina. That's how the optical power of the cornea is highest among all the ocular structure, plus 43 diopter. To maintain its transparency, nature has leave it as avascular. No blood supply, no lymphatic drainage, so that its transparency can be maintained. Even epithelial cells are so tightly packed with each other that even no single drop of water can enter into the cornea. That's also maintain the state of transparency. Even the endothelial cells act as an active pump mechanism, maintain the state of dehydration, moving water away from stroma back to the aqueous humor. That's how the corneal transparency is maintained. Stromal lamella or the collagen lamella are so regularly oriented that the corneal transparency is maintained. But this transparency is not maintained. This transparency is never ever maintained whenever there is any inflammation in the cornea. I say breach in the continuity of the corneal epithelium, that is mostly caused by the microorganism. But microorganism causes breach in the continuity of corneal epithelium only when there is potentially weakened corneal epithelium. That is the patient of diabetic mellitus, cirrhosis, protein energy, malnutrited. These all patients may suffer from the corneal opacity or the corneal infection, I say keratitis. Whenever they are characterized by the infiltrative, active, regressive, and cystrization, these are four major pathogenesis stages. How? Let's see. For example, whenever any potentially microorganism enter into the epithelial cell, body's immune system becomes activated and leads to the entry of the polymorphonuclear leukocyte into that involved portion of the cornea. That is characterized by the infiltrative stage, and then we know the rules of inflammation. Cytokines, mediators will release and leads to the compacting the pathogen with the normal cells and leads to the resulting portion of the epithelium will undergo necrosis and shed of a defect will create it, that is called ulcer. I say that is characterized by the active stage. Inflammatory mediator even may move forward towards the iris and ciliary process and may lead to the iridocyclitis. Even the inflammatory mediator or the exudate that is continuously releasing from the capillary, the fluid that is continuously releasing from capillary may lead to the formation of fibrous exudate and may block the anterior chamber and का secondary glaucoma. Even if the full thickness of the stroma is involved, the descent membrane may be exposed from the cornea and leads to the descemetosole. But then the stage of the regressive comes where the stromal edema resolves and the dead material is thrown off and then healing starts. Healing occurs in the portion of the if there is the epithelial damage, then the fibrous scar will be there. But if the corneal scar involves the Bowman's membrane, then as we know Bowman's membrane can never be regenerated, then there will be a permanent slight thin opacity that is known as nebula around the cornea. Permanent thin diffuse corneal opacity known as nebula. If the corneal thickness involves half of the thickness of the, if the microorganism in fact half of the thickness of the stroma, then it is called macula. And if the full thickness of the stroma is involved, if the full thickness of the stroma is involved, then a permanent dense corneal opacity will be around the cornea, that is also known as nebula. Leukoma. Patient will be unable, the patient of leukoma will unable to see anything because a dense thick white corneal opacity is around the whole cornea. Even if the healing starts, but due to sudden straining condition there is the perforation of the cornea, then intraocular pressure will suddenly fall due to the leakage of fluid, and iris and the lens will come forward. There will be the forward displacement of iris and lens. But still, after the perforation, healing again starts. When the healing starts, iris will be incarcerated within the layers of cornea. That stage is also known as leukoma adherent. Iris attached behind the corneal opacity. But still, if perforation does not occur, then iris will not be seen behind the corneal opacity. Even the iris will come back from the perforation. Come forward from the perforation and seen as a prolapsing outward. There will be the iris prolapse. If still healing occur, perforation occur, healing occur, perforation occur, healing occur due to sudden straining condition. If the patient is surviving from a chronic type of disease like cough, sneezing, COPD patient, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease patient, or sudden straining factor like constipation, then these conditions may lead to healing, perforation, healing, but finally at the end there will be the permanent corneal fistula. That may lead to the intraocular pressure falls significantly, so that the choroidal blood vessels will dilate and often rupture and leads to the intraocular hemorrhages. These are some complications in the pathogenesis of corneal ulcer. Have a look on the sign and symptom. Guys, the patient of the corneal ulcer feels pain. Very simple. We know that the cornea is richly supplied, purely supplied, densely innervated tissue in our body. It is supplied by the ophthalmic division of the trigeminal nerve. So whenever there will be any infection or inflammation, corneal nerves will get stimulated and the pain will occur. Due to the same nerve supply, lacrimal gland and cornea both are supplied by the ophthalmic division of trigeminal nerve. There will be reflex over secretion of the tears. Due to corneal opacity, patient will be unable to see the light or unable to feel a photophobic nature. The patient have a photophobic nature. He doesn't want the light may enter into his eyes. Blepharism will be there. There is a tightly closure of the eyelid. Redness due to ciliary congestion and halos. Some patient due to corneal edema, some patient can feel the halos around the source of light. These type of patients are investigated. First, we take the history from these patients, and then investigations occur. Normal routine investigation, blood, CP, ESR, corneal stain. If the corneal stain is positive, hazy cornea is there, white, the whole cornea is surrounded by the layer of opacity, ciliary congestion is there, and even if the anterior chamber is filled with the hypopyon, that is the exudate is present, that is a confirmed diagnosis of the corneal opacity. I say the bacterial corneal infection. Treatment. The first duty of any patient is to relieve the pain of the patient. We have to relieve the pain of the patient. So patient is given the atropine or the analgesic to relieve the pain, and then the patient is supplied by the antibiotics. Antibiotic we give the patient as an antibiotic of the Gentamicin, tobramycin, these are all antibiotic in the topical form are given. We avoid the patient to give the systemic antibiotic because cornea is avascular and the systemic antibiotic can't reach the site of the ulceration. Therefore, systemic antibiotic is always avoided. If there is desmetosol, then the pressure bandage, contact lenses are used to support the cornea. But at the end, the final treatment is either amniotic membrane transplant or the final keratoplasty, because amniotic membrane is basically full of the growth factors, rich in growth factors. There is multiple growth factors that help to promote the tissue repair. That's why amniotic membrane has been very successful in the patient of the corneal ulcer, has been remain a successful treatment in the patient of the corneal ulcer. But still, if amniotic membrane transplant doesn't work, then the final remedy is the keratoplasty, where the whole cornea of the donor is given to the recipient, whole cornea is changed. That is also known as in layman terminology आंखों की सर्जरी, आंखों की सर्जरी हो रही है. We called it keratoplasty. Thank you so much guys.